am joined on the mic right now with Suffolk Punch.
Hello, hello.
All right, so I'm going to take us, sorry for the late start, we just got our rosters. I'm going to take you through Team Denmark. Number 6 is Care. Number 10 is AC Dizzy. Number 119, Charlie Hedman. Wearing the C, number 12 is Fricks Road. Number 16 is Keller. Number 17 is Raging Bully. Number 19 is Yaya Whoosh. Number 28 is Bloody Kiss. Wearing number 321, that's Pony Cat. Number 34 is Miss Voyens. Number 44 is Aola. Number 440 is Tinker. Wearing number 510, that's Juggernaut Jelly. Wearing 517, you have Andy War. Number 55 is Bai. Number 56 is Robsam. And the coaches are Stevel. Stevel will be wearing the A, and Dynamite. And that is the Denmark All-Stars.
And I will take you through Team Portugal. We have number 6, Titanium. Number 2, Pinky Swears. 80, Marburg. 1314, Picante. 138, Yoke Honor. 21, Big Joe. 25, Gorilla J. 314, Blood Runner. 33, Devi Nemesis. 351, Foxy. 467, De Silva. 84, Dre. 9000, Atomic Ant, and 952, Jojo.
All right, out on the jammer line now, wearing number 321 for the red team. That is Denmark in the red, and 321 is Pony Cat. And I did not catch the jammer for the white team. There it is. It's number 9000. That's Atomic Ant.
Yep.
Pack is forward. And lead jam goes to the white team. That is Portugal. Oh no, track cut. So lead is still open. Lead. There you go, take it.
Lead is open, 3-2-1 Pony calls it, ends that jam 0-0.
Interesting, so it's going to be a power jam to start the second jam. Power jam for Team Portugal.
For Team Denmark, All-Stars.
Oh, for Team Denmark, yes. All right. Do you guys want to switch? All right, and joining us now on the microphone is going to be the great Smacksby. We're here in jam number 2. Number 56 on the red team. That is
Robsham for Team Denmark.
There you
up
go.
Against Atomic Ant for Team Portugal now. Sorry for my tardiness.
Yeah, no worries. Atomic Ant starting in the penalty box, so it's a power jam right now.
Robsham twirls around on the outside line, picks up 5 points for Denmark. Going to re-engage with the wall now. 3 at the front, getting some assistance there from Juggernaut Jelly. Absolute powerhouse of a blocker.
Split pack. Pack is in the back now. They're going to have to let her go on the front or risk the out of play. And they did. I believe an out of play penalty was assessed. Yes. Portugal skater leaving on the out of play.
Another 5 points picked up by Denmark. 10 points so far in this pass. Just coming to the first minute of the jam.
Great hit by Yoke Anna right in front of us.
Indeed, Robson taking all the way back to the straightaway there, now re-engaging at the apex. Bit of a pile-up.
Multiplayer number 467, that's De Silva. An out of play or a failure to reform perhaps being assessed.
Meanwhile, Atomic Ant being taken back to the straightaway, doing an excellent job of pushing against that Denmark wall, but just can't make any purchase there, Narco.
Indeed. Nice mover on the inside to complete the initial pass for Portugal.
Finds that space, takes advantage of the lax attitude of the blockers there.
Portugal with a brace 3 wall.
Atomic Ant breaks through, picks up the first 4 points for Team Portugal there. Meanwhile, another 4 points for Robsham and Team Denmark. No pack assessed. Jam comes to a conclusion. Further 4 points picked up by Portugal in that pass, bringing the score 23-8 in favor of the team from Denmark.
All right. I'd like to give a shout out to Sisu Mouthguards, the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup.
Certainly not a piece of equipment that any skater here is missing is their Sisu mouthguards.
Indeed. Jammer for the red team is number 44. That's Aola. And number 314 for the white team is Blood Runner.
Portugal still with the blocker disadvantage as Eola pushes against the front wall there, going to get assistance from their blocker, but it is Bloodrunner who jumps in, takes lead jammer.
Nice block at the top of the pack, but they're going to have to let her go. Initial pass completed by Denmark.
Eola tries to re-engage with well there, but the jam is called. No points in that last jam to Denmark.
Still waiting for the tally for Portugal.
And it looks like 3 points there from the jam ref for Portugal.
So 23-11 heading into jam number 4. Each team with a pivot in the penalty box. Portugal also has a blocker in the penalty box. Can you see the jammers?
Yes, we have Picante for Team Portugal, but it's going to be Denmark who takes lead jammer. That is number 321.
Ponycat.
Ponycat.
Four-point pass for the Denmark All-Stars, and they call the jam.
Just over 25 minutes left on the clock here. 27 is going to play 11. Remember, let us know if you're here in the hall or if you're watching at home. Check out the hashtag RDWC2018 on Twitter and Instagram. Let us know where you're watching the games from. Hopefully we'll give you a shout out when we can.
Jamming for the white team, number 351 is Foxy, and for the red team, number 56 is Robsham.
Pack opting to move backwards there to catch two jammers. Robson pushing away at the front there against the Portugal wall.
No pack. Failure to reform called on the red pivot. Number 10, AC Dizzy. Oh, and
Portugal with one to beat at the front. Out on their scoring pass now with a no pass, no penalty. Robson there managed to break out for Denmark. Now lead jammer. Pack opting to speed up now, going into the straightaway. Going to make the jammers work for it.
This pack is moving incredibly fast, trying to keep the jammers at bay and keep the points away.
Robsham says enough is enough, calls off the jam.
It was starting to look a bit too much like exercise, I think. Pointless jam all round there. Score still 27-11, under 24 minutes left of regular play here.
Slightly different format than you might be used to. These games are only going to be half an hour long each.
That's right, one continuous 30-minute game. Only one timeout per team, or two, I believe. And the timeouts do not stop the game clock. So the clock will continue even through all the timeouts. Eola now taking the star for Denmark against Atomic and for Portugal.
Both teams focusing mostly on defense. Got a little bit of help for Denmark. Number 19 up there trying to poke holes for her jammer to get through. And Denmark through for lead.
That's right, Eola breaking through against that last Portuguese blocker. Ready to re-engage, get some points.
Looks like Pinky Swear is in the penalty box for Team Portugal.
Atomic Ant now breaking out, eligible to score points, but Eola sees the danger, picks up 4 points of their own and calls the jam.
Extending the lead, roughly a 3-1 margin, 31-11 in favor of the Denmark All-Stars. Hey, if you're looking for a helmet, the S1 Life Visor helmet offers next level protection, and it is the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup.
Next up to jam for the Denmark All-Stars, it's going to be Tinker facing off against Blood Runner for Portugal.
And here we go.
Tinker's got 3 to beat at the front, stretching out that pack. Only got 1 to go, but breaks out is lead jammer for the Denmark All-Stars.
Out of play called on looked like number 13, I could be wrong. Somebody on the Denmark All-Stars, so the penalty box on an out of play.
Blood Runner breaks out, now eligible to score, chasing down that jammer. Takes a little bit of a duck in the straightaway, hits that wall of 3, knocked to the inside.
Nice hit by the Denmark pivot. AC Dizzy making the jammer re-engage from the back of the pack.
4 points picked up by Tinker there for the Denmark All-Stars. Going to re-engage now. Portugal having some penalty trouble right now. Got 2 blockers in the bin. Bloodrunner just caught unaware coming to the outside lane there. Thought they were clear. Knocked to the outside.
Big scrum now about the jammer line.
Tinker still got 2 to beat now. 1 more coming into the straightaway.
Got the cover in hand. No, I think we got a star pass. That's number 25, Gorilla J, now jamming for Portugal.
Gorilla J picking up 4 points there for their doubles from the jammer.
Nice hit, forcing the Denmark jammer to the infield. She's going to call off the jam. Oh, but maybe points picked up. Yes, indeed.
1 single point apiece in that last pass for both teams. So Denmark All-Stars on 41, Portugal on 16.
Still roughly 3-1 margin.
So roughly, and it's definitely a testament to the level of the play we're seeing here, where even that 3-1 margin is quite a small spread at this point.
Oh, sure. A 25-point jam is not unheard of at all. So anything can happen. Hey, look, there we are on camera.
Oh,
that's,
hey.
That's Bobby Narco on the left. Great smash me in the middle, and Suffolk Punch on the right. And back to the track. Number 13-14 is Picante. And who's the lead jammer? Oh, Picante is the lead jammer.
That's right, Picante lead jammer for Team Portugal. Number 321 Ponycat for the Denmark All-Stars. Going to get stuck in that wall. Breaks through, knocked to the floor. Wannabe at the front.
I heard a whistle, but I don't see anybody leaving.
Not quite sure either. Picante gets through, picks up some points. 4 points, calls the jam.
That was. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, after you.
The low block is on the pivot. Number 467 on the white team. That's De Silva.
So 4 points picked up there by Team Portugal against the Denmark All-Stars. And it looks like we're going to have a team time out call by Team Portugal. Great time to mention another one of our fantastic sponsors, Sucker Punch Skate Shop. That's a tongue twister if I've ever heard it. Europe's original derby-owned and devoted skate shop, Sucker Punch is dedicated to helping you with honest advice to find exactly what you need and more. The technical know-how and expertise is unrivaled, as is their availability of their favorite gear and the fast shipping that they offer throughout Europe. Visit them at suckerpunchskateshop.com.
How about that? Also like to thank our hosts, Rainy City Roller Derby. We are here on the Rainy City Roller Derby track. Don't call it track 4. Call it the Rainy City Roller Derby track.
Rainy City doing an absolutely fantastic job of holding such a massive event here in the heart of Manchester. Big thanks to them.
Indeed, they're fantastic hosts so far. They've been taking real good care of us. I'm sure they're taking equally good care of all the volunteers and the skaters. So that timeout is winding down. Denmark has been on the track the whole time. I think they're raring to go.
Oh,
that 3-1 margin is now a 2-1 margin. So just like that, the score can closen up.
And that's going to matter a lot come the time they start calculating the rankings. If you've just joined us, Denmark All-Stars skating in the red against Portugal in the white.
Jammers for Denmark All-Stars are Robsham, and for Team Portugal, Picante.
Robson doing a little bit of fist blocker work to start off the jam there, but now re-engaging at the front. Picks up lead jammer for the Denmark All-Stars. Robson now coming in to re-engage that pack. Finds an inside line and the jump. Picks up 5 points for Denmark.
I hear a whistle. I don't see anybody leaving. There's a forearm penalty. Who's got the forearm?
Seems to be have been assessed on Picante, the Portuguese jammers. This is going to be a power jam to the Denmark All-Stars. Five points already picked up by Robson. Attacking the pack there, coming into turn 3. It looks like a back block penalty assessed on Robson, so we're going to have a jammer switcheroo.
A 2-minute jam.
Ooh.
Hey, Suffolk Punch, our Cracker Jack producer, she might be able to tell me if this is our first 2-minute jam of the game. Or not, maybe. We'll find out. It's the second 2-minute jam of the game.
Nice. Finds that inside line, nips through. now eligible to score. Just over 30 seconds left the clock as both jammers now returning to the track. Robsham now pushing away against that wall of white at the front. Got 3 to beat in that tripod formation that we're seeing a lot of at this level of play. 2 now as the pack spreads out even further.
Yeah, each team dedicating some blockers to bridging so that they can continue to block. Now the pack is back.
Jam comes to a natural conclusion there. 2 more points picked up by Portugal. 10 points in that last jam to the Denmark All-Stars. 51 plays 22 with just under 16 minutes left in regular play.
Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Well, we think roller derby can help change that. Learn more at girlsontrackfoundation.org.
Back to the action on track. Eula now lining up for the Denmark All-Stars against Foxy for Portugal.
Penalty box is empty.
Juggernaut Jelly's going to take Foxy back to the turn there.
Failure to reform is the call on the Denmark skater that's leaving. And another failure to reform. 2 skaters leaving. They might not both be failures to reform. That's the only one I saw.
Foxy is your lead jammer now for Team Portugal, looking to re-engage, pick up some points.
Ayola's got the star in hand.
Could be looking for a pass or stash there. 5 points picked up by Portugal. Really starting to close that gap a little bit.
And with the star in hand, the initial pass is completed for Denmark.
Ayla re-engaging there, looking to pick up a few points. 2 to go.
Great spin move, gets around Pinky Squares, picks up 4 points of her own.
Getting a signal from the bench to try to pick up a few points. But Foxy calls off the jam, picking up another 4 there for Portugal. 9 points in that last jam. 55 plays 31.
All right, Team Portugal making a bit of a comeback there, at least on that jam.
We currently have an empty penalty box, so both teams with a full complement of jammers and blockers on track.
I think we have a pivot standing in there.
Oh, no, you're correct there. They were being hidden by a ref.
Yes. That is Portugal's pivot standing in the penalty box. They'll be out shortly. Jamming is number 314, Blood Runner, and 321, Ponycat. Did you just say that? Okay,
no, you caught me to it. Denmark All-Stars, Ponycat, now with lead jammer. Meanwhile, Blood Runner chasing them down. Got about half a track gap between them. Ponycat sees the danger, calls the jam. Really want to protect that lead right now, especially with it being so close.
Great move by Ponycat. Looking over at the bench, seeing the position of the other jam and be like, I can wait a couple seconds. I can burn at least 2 seconds off the clock before I call this jam.
Certainly right. We're over the halfway point in this game already, which means like every second counts.
Well, in these shortened games, every second already counted. So
exactly.
Counting double now. Who do we have on the line, Smacksby?
I believe we have Atomic Ant lining up for Portugal and Sophie Bay for the Denmark All-Stars. And Atomic Ant finds that inside line going into the turn, takes lead jammer for Portugal.
Portugal losing their pivot on a forearm.
Sophie Bay manages to slide around that last Portuguese blocker, is now eligible to score.
We got a failure to reform or some sort of positional play blocking. I don't see who's leaving. We'll see when they get to the box, though.
3 points picked up by Portugal there. Brings their total to 34 against Denmark's 59.
That was Denmark's pivot. So each team going to start without their pivot in the next jam.
Certainly interesting to see how that affects their offensive capabilities going into this next jam. Robsham now jamming up against Picante.
59-34, jam number 13 is underway.
Both jammers pushing against a wedge formation there in favor of both teams. Picante is going to get dragged back to the turn. Meanwhile, Robson still pushing away, going past the pivot line. Very slow moving pack going in this jam.
Portugal's pivot now back in play. And now everybody's back in play. 80 wheels a-blazing on this polished concrete floor here at the Event City in Manchester, England.
That's right. If you're just joining us, welcome to live coverage of the Roller Derby World Cup 2018 from sunny Manchester, England. You're here with Bob Narco and the Great Smaxy with Suffolk Punch, and it is lead jammer for Robson and the Denmark All-Stars.
It took almost a minute to establish a lead.
It's a very slow, very solid pack in favor of both teams. Excellent defensive work by their blockers.
Yeah, nice brace 3-wall in the back for Denmark.
Robson finds that inside line, picks up 5 points for the Denmark All-Stars.
Forearm penalty. Who's leaving? Looks like number 12 on the red team. That is the captain, Fricks Road.
Picante knocked far to the outfield there. Going to get taken back to the turn 2.
Another forearm. Who's leaving? It's the Denmark pivot with a forearm. Number 06, Care.
Picante through, finally now eligible to score points. Only a few seconds left on the board.
Looking gassed.
That was a solid jam for both teams. Another 3 points picked up there by Robson for the Denmark All-Stars. 67 is going to play 34.
Still holding on to that 2-1 margin.
Lining up now for the Denmark All-Stars is Eole against Blood Runner for Portugal.
Hey, if you want to get a different shirt from all the different roller derby leagues around the world every month, you can join the Roller Derby Shirt Club at rollerderbyshirtclub.com.
Jam underway, and Eole, stuck at the back there. Manages to find a gap, but not to the infield. Meanwhile, Blood Runner for Portugal on the turn takes lead jammer. Eole breaks it, now eligible to score points. Attempted a jump there for Blood Runner, but called on the cut track penalty. So this is going to be a power jam to the Denmark All-Stars.
Not an auspicious occurrence for Portugal.
Certainly poorly timed, but a great attempt by the jammer there. Eole is going to get knocked to the inside and taken back to the edge of the straightaway. Denmark losing another blocker in Hedman.
Yeah, that's Charlie Hedman. He got called on the forearm.
He finds that inside line, managed to break past the Portuguese pivot. 5 points Denmark.
And Blood Runner back in. And Denmark's pivot returning to play as well.
Eole opting for a run up now before re-engaging with this wall. Blood Runner following through on the gap there. And yep, that's going to be another 4 points picked up by Blood Runner.
So each team scoring, there's a 4 and a 5.
Denmark up to 10 points in this last jam already. 4 points to Portugal. 10 seconds left on the clock.
Direction of play on the Portugal pivot.
Jam comes to a natural conclusion there. No points in that last pass to Denmark. 4 points to Portugal. 77 is going to play 42 with just over 7 minutes left on the clock in this game.
Give a shout out to Rydell Skates. They are a proud sponsor of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup.
I'm sure a fair amount of skaters in the hall today will be wearing those Rydell skates. Next up, we got Picante for Team Portugal, lining up against Ponycat for Denmark All-Stars.
Portugal with a little cheer going on. They've got a kind of sizable cheering section in the crowd. And they respond by picking up lead jammer.
That's right. And Ponycat now out to score, about half track behind the Portuguese jammer. Picante calls the jam, picks up a single point, I believe.
1 point. I've got a direction of play coming in at the very end. Let's see who's reporting to the box on that direction of play.
It looks like
Pinky Swears. Is that Pinky?
Swears, yeah. I would say so.
Recognize her from Gotham Roller Derby.
And we got a team timeout called by the Denmark All-Stars.
So the clock will run during the team timeouts. And there, my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, but my understanding is that there's no timeouts allowed after 2 minutes.
Pretty much.
So if you have a big lead, you can't just call both of your timeouts and end the game early.
Big shout out to Double Threat Skates, expert advice from experienced staff. For more information, head to doublethreatskates.co.uk. And remember, if you're watching at home and you want to get in on the action, give us a shout out on your Twitter or your Instagram, perhaps your Pinterest or your Facebook or whatever it is the kids have got these days. Check out the hashtag RDWC2018.
And if you are coming down here later, there's a Snapchat filter. You can put a little Snapchat filter if you take a picture on your Snapchat.
I do love a good Snapchat, I'll be honest. I've only got into it recently, but it's good fun when you're on a long road trip. Foxy lining up now for Portugal against Eula for the Denmark All-Stars. Just under 5 minutes left on the clock.
Portugal with 2 skaters in the penalty box, 1 standing, that's the pivot, and Denmark with 1 skater in the penalty box.
Eula's got 2 to beat at the front, finds that inside line, is lead jammer for the Denmark All-Stars. Foxy being recycled all the way back to the straightaway by Juggernaut Jelly.
Out of play. No one leaving. There it is. That's the Denmark pivot on the out of play. Multiplayer at the top of the pack. That's number 16 for Denmark. That's Keller to the penalty box on a multiplayer.
Foxy now out and eligible to score. Finds that inside line, picks up 4 points for Portugal. Meanwhile,
forearm. Who's it on?
Not quite sure yet. 4 points picked up by the Denmark All-Stars. Meanwhile, it is Foxy who looks to be going to the bin now.
Yeah, there's a track cut called. I guess that's Foxy's track cut. I was wondering who was going to leave on that.
Denmark calls the jam there, picks up a further 3 points. 12 points in that last jam, 8-9, plays 48, and still maintaining that sort of 2-to-1 ratio, I guess.
Yeah. For every point that Portugal scores, Denmark's picking up 2.
Coming to the last 3 minutes of regular play now, number 5-5 for Denmark. That's Sophie Bay. And it looks like we're going to have an official review called by Team Denmark.
Now I'm curious if the official review will stop the clock.
No
It
time.
does not appear to be.
No.
So it behooves the officials to get their review settled quickly.
I suppose it is a great opportunity for Denmark to kill the clock here. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Rainy City Roller Derby track here at the Roller Derby World Cup 2018 and the Great Smackspeed, joined by Bob Narco and our producer, Suffolk Punch. Sorry, carry on.
I think it's a great use of the official review by Team Portugal to try. I think they got to try and get their jammer out of the penalty box any way they can. So, although we haven't been told what the gist of the official review is yet, my psychic prediction is that it will have something to do with trying to get their jammer out of the box.
I think you might be right there. We are now in the last 2 minutes of regular play here, and the official review has come to an end. We're going to get right back to the action. Sophie Bay lining up as the sole jammer on track in favor of the Team Denmark. Crowd is absolutely electric here at the Rainy City Roller Derby track.
So if the official review were to try and spring the Portugal jammer, we know that it did not succeed.
Certainly did not. Plays turn. Sophie B out as lead jammer for the Denmark All-Stars.
And there is more time in the jam than there is in the period. Something you can only say on the mic if you're on the broadcast.
Certainly true. Denmark are going to want to play this one as long as possible and close up nicely.
Great scoring pass by Bai. She's just moving through.
4 points there to Denmark. Foxy knocked to the inside line, going to re-engage on the out. Finds it out, but knocked to the outfield, taken back to the...
Out of play at the top. They're going to have to let her go. Another 5 points. That puts Denmark up over the century mark. 14-point jam. That might be the biggest jam of the day.
Seems that way so far, and that breaks the Denmark All-Stars past that century mark. 103 plays 48. Sophie Bai knocked to the outside and recycled back. Foxy knocked to the infield, going to get taken back to the end of the straightaway.
Denmark exploding in the fans for Denmark are exploding over there on the backstretch.
4 points for Sophie Bai. Bench signaling to run it.
Oh, and Portugal loses their jammer.
Looks like they're going to want to build up as much of a spread here going into the first round.
Sure, scoring matters in terms of how you advance and where you go.
Certainly does.
Out of play is the call, perhaps a failure to reform. That is the Denmark pivot. And the jam timer calls it off. Unofficial final. 117? 117 to 52.
And again, smart use of the clock there by the Denmark All-Stars. They knew they had the lead. They knew they needed to extend that to get better rankings going into the next round. Cracking work from the All-Stars, but also tremendous work from Team Portugal, keeping that 2-to-1 ratio all the way through that game, really.
Yes, indeed. I think both of these teams have a decent future ahead of them.
I think so. It'll be interesting to see what they can pull off going through the rest of the tournament.
Smacksby, if you had to give an MVP for Team Denmark, who would it be?
For sheer offensive capability, Juggernaut Jelly.
I think I would go with Aola.
Really?
Yeah. And for Team Portugal, if you had to give an MVP, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There were a lot of strong players on that side. I'd have to say Picante, a very solid jammer in that last game. Solid effort throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I was kind of torn between De Silva and Atomic Ant myself. But great skating all around. On behalf of Suffolk Punch and the great Smacksby, this is Bobby Narco wishing you peace, love, and a roller derby.
See you all soon, folks.